Hey, fitting guy here. Are the compression fittings starting to crimp your style? Check out the new line of crimp style fittings from Phenix. Welcome to Phenix TV. Today's video is going to be just a little bit longer because we're introducing a whole new line of hose ends. We've been wanting to get into the crimp market for some time, but we wanted to do it right. Today we're going to look at the new product. You're going to get a close-up look at that. We're going to go out in the shop and we're going to build a hose assembly, and then we're going to go out and we're going to visit with a company that actually uses them. So sit tight and stick with us. The Phenix line of crimp fittings is easy to use because it uses our standard issue hose, our double braided black hose, our double braided stainless racing hose, and our E85 hoses will all work with these hose ends. They have a crimp collar, they slide together easily, and to make it very easy to where it's almost foolproof, you don't have to clock your hose because ours are double swivel. Our crimp series hose ends come in straights, 45s, 90s, 120s, 150s, and 180s. And the hose ends are available in -4 to -16 sizes. So enough of the basics. Let's go out in the shop and build a hose assembly. Okay, so we're out in the shop now. I'll just open up your Phenix packaging, and it comes with the hose end and the crimp collar. All you do is slide your crimp collar over the end of the hose and gently push the hose end in. And she goes in pretty easy there. Always adjust your Phenix fitting logo outward so the camera can see it. Putting my die halves together in here. Just lay the first half in there, position your hose, put the second half in. You grab your compression collar, notice how dirty it is on the inside, but through the magic of editing, it's suddenly clean. So that's back on. Again, you want to just position that crimp collar. There's a slight bevel at the top of it. I like to see the bevel at the very edge of the fingers of the die. And then you know you're in the right position. Crimp it down until it grabs hold, and then give it a full crimp. There's a good look at the top of that bevel and the Phenix logo. Anyway, once you've crimped it, you release it. Check it with your micrometer, and you're in business. And with that, you've made a good-looking hose assembly. Now, as you can see, it's pretty easy to put one of these things together. And I'm a guy who doesn't build a whole lot of hose assemblies, and I can do it. But let's go visit a shop that uses these things all the time, that has recently changed over to the Phenix brand. Boss Chassis and KBR Performance, located in Belleville, Illinois, are longtime participants, manufacturers, suppliers, fabricators, and supporters of open-wheel dirt racing across the Midwest. In addition to designing and building their own midget chassis and parts supplies, they also provide trackside support and complete arrive and drive services. Headman Austin Brown is an accomplished driver, designer, and owner of Boss Chassis and KBR Performance. We visited with Austin recently to discuss the new fittings from Phenix. Tell us what you think so far of using Phenix brand crimp fittings.
Yeah, so we just started using them on our engine stuff, power steering line, fuel line. So far, they've crimped real easy. Just put them on all the fit and finishes real well. So I'm looking forward to using them on most of all of our race cars.
Okay. One of the features is that they're double swivel, so you don't have to clock your hose. Tell us about using it. Does that help you at all?
Yeah, that's the best thing. Is most of the time when we mock up inside of the car, it's we don't have much room as far as where our lines need to be and stuff like that. So, and especially the biggest thing is getting customers that aren't here and they're in a different state. Well, they can send us the length of their measurement, and we don't have to worry about twisting the end the way that they have to have it, so they can just turn it wherever they need it.
Good. Anything else you'd add about the Phenix fittings?
Yeah, no, the biggest thing now is really the clean look of the black hose, and you're not pricking your finger. So the crimp with the the nice outside braiding really cleans everything up inside of the cars, so you're not catching your hand on a steel braided line or something like that. So good. And then black obviously is what most people are going to, so everybody likes that.
Everybody's going to the black. Were you able to use the current dyes that you've used when you used our competitors?
Yes, we just used our standard crimper that we bought a few years ago, and we didn't have to change anything as far as crimping your lines.
Just in your own words, why do you prefer to use crimp fittings versus the usual compression style fittings that are screwed together?
Well, mostly
what's the advantage?
We used push-on before that, so.
Oh, okay.
And push-on is a lot of physical labor. I mean, busted knuckles, stuff like that. So the crimp-on, I mean, again, it's nicer. It looks nice under the hood. The twist-on is a lot more bulky, so the crimp-on stuff is a lot more compact, and our cars are very tight, so
space
gives
is
us
at
a
a premium.
lot more room. Yes. Right.
And that's it?
Yep.
That's it. All right. Now here we see a great example of some of the things we've been talking about. This is a dash 16 oil line, and on one end you can see he's got a 150-degree hose end. The oil line then swings down on one side of the motor, goes past the radiator, and comes along the other side of the motor, going all the way back to a dry sump tank where it has a 45-degree hose end. Well, with a 150 on one end and a 45 on the other, if these aren't double swivel hose ends across this length and going around corners and you miss, well, you're throwing out a very expensive hose assembly. But with Phenix, you make it to the correct length and then you can just dial it in when you install the hose. And you'll see when he's finished screwing this on that the hoses lay in a very relaxed situation. There's no little extra twist to get it to fit. There's no force feed here at all. It's a very good way to do things. Of course, there is a cost to get into this. You're going to have a crimper and the dies to go with it. But by the time you get done purchasing a crimper and all the dies, you're probably looking at around $3,000 before it's all done. But unlike other brands, we don't have a buy-in on the inventory. We've never asked our customers to do that. You can still just buy as you need. So it's a little bit easier way to put your toe in the water of the crimp world and be able to do it at an economical rate. What you wind up with is a lightweight hose assembly that's easy to install because everything double swivels. For those of you who are assembling kits that you sell to your customers and are used to sending out a length of hose and a couple of hose ends, hoping that the customer puts them together correctly, this might be a better way. Go ahead and build the hose assembly in advance, crimp it, and know that it'll pass a pressure test and you're not going to have problems with your customer and they're going to be happier about it. There are some limitations to that, but for specific applications, this might be the answer. For those shops that are out there that are currently crimping lines using a competitive brand, give us a call because you may find out that our crimp specs are identical to most of the major brands. So if you already have a crimper and competitive dies, guess what? These will work. Hey, thanks for watching The Fitting Guy. Remember to hit subscribe, and we'll see you at the racetrack. Hello?